Hey friends, thanks for checking out tonight's video blog. Derek Q. Sanders here. Tonight what I want to talk about is sex, his moment of clarity. Yesterday I was tagged in social media on an article. I'm not going to give the name of the online magazine. I don't even want to give them that much credit, but it was a gentleman that wrote an article, and he was talking about questions that he gets from ladies. One of the questions that he gets is women want to know why, when they have sex with a man, he stops calling or he basically disappears. And he attributed to that to what he called men having a moment of clarity after sex. So after a man has sex with you, um, then he has a moment of clarity and he realizes he doesn't like you. Now, how many of you actually think that's what happens? Because it basically built a case for that in the article. And then he went on to explain the whole exchange. You meet a guy, and he said that the guy essentially um, listens to all that you have to talk about, whether he's interested or not. He watches all your favorite shows, even shows that he hates the shows, but he watched the shows with you, and he built a whole case and basically said 99, and he said this, not basically, he said it, 99% of men that you meet are just out to sleep with you. Now mind you, initially going into this, he said that men have a moment of clarity after they have sex with you. So which is it? Do men have a moment of clarity after they have sex with you, or were they only out for sex to begin with? And based upon how the whole story's set up and what he said, 99% of men, if 99% of men are looking to sleep with a woman, then they don't have a moment of clarity after they sleep with you. They had a moment of clarity before they ever talked to you, before they even approached you. The game and the goal was to have sex. So this whole business about a moment of clarity is nonsense. It's not a moment of clarity. These guys sleep with you, and that's their interest, and they stop calling because the same reason a person that's running a race, once they cross the finish line, they stop running because it's over. They've finished. The game is over. You run for a purpose, and once you cross that line, you stop. And I guess once they cross the finish line, they have a moment of clarity and they stop running. That's ridiculous. I don't mean to laugh at that because it's funny. It's the ridiculousness is funny. It's offensive as a man to hear other men give that type of, if I can even call it advice, because it really wasn't advice. It was almost like he was talking to ladies as though they were idiots, and not even in a sense of, he wasn't even talking from a standpoint where this is something that men should be ashamed of, or even advising women to steer clear of this. Just telling, look, a matter of fact, this is what happens. 99% of men want to sleep with you, and this is the game. And then even mentioned later that he was doing a disservice to the other guys because he was telling the women so much game. It's ridiculous. And if we're going to talk about 99% of men, if that were true, which is not, I mean, it is a lot of men that are out to, well, let me say this, is a segment of men that do that. And my advice to women would not to even harp on the actions of those men, because they're dishonorable actions. But let's talk about the men that are not like that. Because once you identify a man that's like that, then that's a man to steer clear of. That's not a man that you try to figure out a game plan. He's out to have sex with you, and you figure out how not to let him. No, that's a guy that you've identified. This is not somebody that's even worth your time. You don't give that man credit for being those who are quote unquote honest about their intention. That's the other thing I want to talk about too. You don't give a man credit for being honest about ill intentions. You know, because a man tells you that he's a dog, he shouldn't get credit for that. He should be avoided. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for notifying me. You're not worthy of my time. You're not who I'm looking for. So no, men don't get a moment of clarity after sex. Uh, Men abandon you after sex because they were only interested in sex. And even those who stick around, you have some who stick around after sex because if you're willing to continue on in a relationship as it is, where he can show up, continue to show up, and have a sexual relationship, and that's all he values you for, and you allow it, he will. A lot of them will. And you get those ones who leave, it's for one or two reasons. They really don't even value you enough for that. Or once you have sex, you start pressing in for more, thinking that now you've kind of solidified the relationship, or sex becomes like a down payment on more, and the guy gets uncomfortable because you want to define the relationship, then he's going to bounce because it's not worth his time. Neither one of those, none of those are situations that a woman should find herself in, because those are not the type of men that are even worth a woman's time. And let me say this too. I'm speaking from a standpoint of a person who dates for the purpose of marriage, and I'm speaking to people who date for the purpose of marriage. People who are watching who don't date for the purpose of marriage, or who don't share the same worldview that I do, I don't really expect you to agree. And this video really ain't for you. It's for people who date for marriage, who date for the purpose of marriage, and come from that worldview where they believe that they're worth waiting for, a woman that believes she's worth waiting for until marriage, and a man that believes that a woman is worth waiting for till he marries her. And he's willing to do what he needs to do in order to gain that woman, if I can use that word, or win that woman, if I can use that word, and marry her. That's my audience. That's what I'm talking to. So for anybody who thinks otherwise, I'm not talking to you. So I'll expect you to agree, because we have a different worldview. So obviously your way might be different, and the way you see things might be different, and that's fine. But I'm talking to a different audience. So ladies, moment of clarity uh, does not happen after sex. A man that approaches you, a man that pursues a woman, he should know before he ever even talks to you what his interest is. And he does. Either he has good intentions, or he doesn't. Either he's a man that's looking for something that's of value to you and himself, or he's not. He's looking for something that just benefits himself. And that whole article that I talked about, it was from the standpoint of men who are selfish, who are predators, who are looking to take advantage of a woman, and then somehow justify it, if that's even the case. I mean, because there's no justification in that. It's selfish, and we were not designed to treat women as predators and to take advantage of you. You weren't designed to be taken advantage of. All right, that's what I have to say on that subject. Thank you all for listening. If we're not friends on Facebook, please find me on Facebook, facebook.com/ Derek Q Sanders, DEREK Q Sanders, just like you see in the YouTube channel. I'm on Twitter at Derek Q Sanders, DEREK Q Sanders. I'm on Pinterest, Derek Q Sanders. So check me out in any of those places. Check me out again next Wednesday. I'm sorry, not Friday. Next Wednesday. I'll be back next Wednesday with another video blog. Thank you for listening in, and everyone have a great night.